The first reading comes from Genesis. This is called Birthright Stew. It's from the Action Bible. After a long and happy life, Abraham finally joins his wife in death. Isaac leads Abraham's tribe to the burial cave of Machpelah to place the body of its great chieftain beside his wife Sarah. But Isaac, like his father, has gone a long time without having any children. Rebekah is barren. We've tried every remedy known to man. Nothing has worked. Now I must pray to God and trust his promise. The Lord answers Isaac's prayers, and Rebekah becomes pregnant, but her pregnancy seems unusual. When they inquire of the Lord, he tells Rebekah that she is pregnant with twins. You will give birth to two nations. One will be stronger than the other, and the younger will rule the older. Well, that's not really fair there, God. Why would anybody rule over anybody? But okay. God made a prophecy. Isaac's prayers are answered. Rebekah becomes pregnant. She's pregnant with twins, which means that she's going to give birth to two nations. But the younger nation is going to be better, is going to rule over the older nation, right? The younger nation will rule over the older nation. When Rebekah gives birth, her first son is reddish and hairy. They name him Esau. I don't think you put those four letters together, frankly. But we'll go with Esau. Essay. Alright, we're going with essay. But clutching Essay's heel is Jacob, who does not want to be left behind. As the boys grow up, Isaac earns a reputation as a man who avoids conflict, but Isaac fails to see the conflict growing between his own twin sons. Which one will be our ruler after Isaac? Essay is stronger, but Jacob, he's more clever. Essay's got the birthright because he's the oldest, but I'd be surprised if Jacob doesn't do something tricky. If I were Isaac, I'd pay more attention to the competition between those boys. One day when Essay returns with fresh food from hunting, Isaac praises him. Essay is a mighty hunter. Yeah, he's strong as an ox, but dumb as one too. This is what Jacob, the fucking schemer, is sitting there thinking. Jacob bides his time. One morning during a hot spell, Essay sets out for a hunting trip. This has been the chance that Jacob has been waiting for. What the fuck? So Essay's going to go hunt. Essay's doing, let's get meat for everybody to get every... Okay. Towards sundown, Jacob waits outside for his brother outside of camp. Again, we're hearing Jacob's thoughts. Here he comes, and without any game. Didn't he catch anything? Camp with its food is only a short distance away, but Essay is so hungry, he can't wait. I'm starving. Give me some stew. Give me some of that stew that you're making. So Jacob cleverly, right, knew he'd been all day hunting, and so was making some stew. Oh, you've been hunting for some meat and some food, huh? Out in the desert with a bow and arrow? Well, no wonder you didn't catch anything. You had a bow and arrow and you're out in the desert. But he's been walking all day out in the sun. He's hungry as shit, right? So he comes back hungry as shit. And Jacob says, yeah, I'll give you some stew on one condition. Just give me your birthright. Give me your birthright. The land and the legacy and the whatever. Just give me the birthright. Give me your birthright. You want some of this stew? Look at this. Delicious. Wouldn't you rather have a meal, a nice, delicious, hot meal for a day instead of land and property? And, who wants that headache? Essay, he goes, that's a dumb question. Is a birthright tasty and filled with savory meat? I'll take the stew. Essay, you were the favorite. You were out there hunting, strong as an ox. Sure, you were smart enough. Samson, how smart was Samson? Here is the stew. Swear that your birthright is mine. I promise the birthright is yours. I'm dying of hunger. Now let me eat. All right, here, eat all you want. So Essay's birthright is mine. Someday I will inherit a double share of my father's wealth. I will rule the tribe and not Essay. But Jacob has a long time to wait. His father is still strong and powerful, and as Isaac grows older, it becomes clear that Essay is his favorite son. Jacob realizes that tricking Essay into giving him the birthright, that's not enough. Somehow he must convince his father to give him the family blessing as well. For all his trickery plots, Jacob can't disobey his father. His father Isaac is the head of the family. His mother Rebekah, however, is the brains. Isaac doesn't know that Jacob has already claimed the birthright that belongs to Essay. Find my son Essay. Tell him that I must see him right away. The stolen blessing. So there's some more trickery. I'll actually just paraphrase this one and talk a little bit about this. I got 3 passages, so this is just the first one. But, you know, this is like fucking 4 or 5 pages coming up here, but this is Genesis 27, right? So we finished Genesis 25 and 26, and since Isaac didn't know he's about to give the birthright to Essay, and Jacob still wants that birthright, and so Jacob and his mother Rebekah are going to scheme, since Isaac is old as shit. Jacob and Rebekah, they scheme against Isaac, and because Isaac can barely see, Isaac actually gives his blessing to Jacob without, you know, unbeknownst to him. He was blind, he's old, he's seen I was about to die. He went ahead and Rebekah sent Jacob into the old man's, you know, hut, and he went ahead and gave the blessing to Jacob, thinking that he was Essay because Jacob was masquerading. He wore a big woolly coat or some shit. So, and Isaac fell for it. Isaac fell for the ruse, and then Isaac gave the blessing to Jacob, and then Essay comes back, and he's all pissed off, and he's like, you told me to go get, you know, some food for my blessing, and I went and got the food, and it's like, what the fuck, what happened? This is some bullshit. So now Essay is pissed off, and it ends the chapter with, I'll kill Jacob for this. Then there's a stairway to heaven, and then there's, you know, a dream, and then a wife swap. They swap wives. I don't under. You gave me Leah, not Rachel, for my wife? Okay, that's interesting. A wife swap. So there's a wife swap, Genesis. This is all the beginning, right? So you had a wife swap. And then Israel. God and Israel is going to fight. And that's what Israel means, to struggle with God. So a struggle with God is Israel. That's what Israel is. Anyways. So I'm going to come up with the wife swap probably tomorrow. But let's talk about the birthright. Okay, what the fuck is this birthright bullshit about? How come you wouldn't just evenly distribute it amongst, you know, your children? And if there does need to be a leader, have them vote for the most, you know, strong and capable, intelligent one. The most strong, intelligent, most fair, even-handed. Just vote for one. Vote for one if you need a leader, but I don't even know why you need a leader. You know, you could just have sort of voluntary associations. Just like Milton Friedman says, let's have liberal capitalism, right? You guys a bunch of liberal capitalists, and he called himself a liberal, so because, what are you, a mercantilist? If you're not a liberal capitalist, are you some kind of mercantilist? Are you some sort of mercantilist? So the birthright whole idea is fucking dumb as shit, and you know, that's probably a big fucking problem because it's going to happen over and over again. And then Jacob is such a fucking scheming fuck, but I guess, you know, he's out of the running for the birthright because he wasn't the firstborn, so that doesn't seem fair. And he did trick, you know, but I feel like if you were a judge, he tricked Essay. But if you're a judge and you were sitting there over that thing, he said it, right? And you got to respect contract law. You say a thing, you got to abide by, what you say. Your word should be your oath, but people don't live by that. So if you say some shit like this, it's got to be written down on paper. It's got to be signed, notarized, have a witness or two, maybe a thumbprint, maybe sign it in blood. I don't know. So, sucks that Jacob tricked S.A. out of his birthright. Stupid that S.A. went ahead and agreed to the fucking thing. If that's the case, it almost sounds like we're just trying to justify, well, yeah, okay, he tricked Isaac, but he already gave the birthright away a long time ago, and everybody forgot about that, but that was, over the stew. Yeah, he gave him stew. Oh, come on. He was hungry and you gave him stew, and now you get to take all of his fucking land and property? Look, he'll pay you $100. He made a fucking dumbass fucking thing. Did you want that? You were starving, so you exploited his hunger. Is that what you did? I mean, I say, if you ever fucking give your birthright up like that so flippantly, motherfucker, over a goddamn stew, assuming that this is, these accounts, because I'm sure, what would S.A. say about that? He was like, what? I never did that. No, over my birthright stew, I would never do something like that. And I don't understand how, how any of this actually holds up. Well, Isaac already blessed Jacob. He already gave Jacob the blessing. Yeah, it was deceitful and fraudulent, and he didn't know he was given the wrong, but he did. So S.A.'s his favorite for fucking decades, and then at the very end, Jacob gets the birthright. Well, that's bullshit. And then after, being the favorite for 20 years, and both Isaac and S.A. want S.A. to have the birthright, they both want S.A. to have the birthright. But once Isaac already gave the blessing, well, fuck, he already gave the blessing. He already gave the blessing. The blessing has already been given. What blessing? When he said, you may have the land and property. You are the one that will take over the land and property, and the rest will have to obey you. You are the new patriarch. I think it's smart to choose a successor, because a lot of times when a king dies, that's like the War of Austrian Succession. Didn't have a child. So who's going to be king now? A king was the king, now the king's dead. No child. Well, fuck. That means we got a plot of ground here that's just wide open for any ambitious person that just wants to come. Any William of Orange that just wants to come marching in here. So there you go. Genesis 25:26. The birthright stew. Thus saith the word of the Lord.